43 AD, the Medway, and a battle that would decide the fate of England. Welcome to Kentish Tales and Tales of Kent. Now, the Romans had invaded Britain before under Julius Caesar. He'd stuck around for a bit, then decided to leave. However, the Romans had come back under Emperor Claudius. Britain, to the Romans, was still a far-flung place to them on the other side of a mysterious channel. So why would they want to go there? Well, Claudius, according to a Roman historian, because of a childhood illness, his vigour of both his mind and his body was dulled. His mother, Antonia, often called him a monster of a man, not finished but merely begun by Mother Nature. It's thought that he had a limp, was partially deaf. He'd only come to power when his nephew, Caligula, overly friendly with his sisters, made his horse a senator allegedly, was killed by his own guard. Claudius seemed to everyone a very unlikely emperor, so he needed some short-term success, something that would make people convinced that he was born to rule. Luckily for him, a Briton turned up called Verica, and he said, "I have been kicked out of my kingdom and lost my crown. If only somebody could come and help." Claudius was only happy to lend a bit of assistance. So Claudius made the decision to invade, and his forces assembled in Boulogne, where they all decided they didn't want to go, because they thought Britain was on the other side of the world. Now, a slave called Narcissus basically took the mick out of them until they felt a bit guilty and decided to go. And they then buoyed themselves up when they saw a shooting star over Dover. But they landed here in Richborough, and there are remains of a fort here to this day, which we can now go and see. Damn it. When the Romans did invade under Aulus Plautius, the Britons under Togodumnus and Caractacus were quite confused. They'd heard about the mutiny and thought the Romans had no chance of heading across the channel. So the Britons hid out in swamps and in forests, but eventually they fought the Romans and were both defeated, and they fled. The Britons retreated to the other side of the Medway, thinking they were safe as there were no bridges at that point spanning the Medway. They relaxed and settled down. Probably drank some tea, if we're to believe Asterix and Obelix in Britain.
I say, I could use a spot of hot water.
Right.
Thank you. Jolly good.
Hit the spot.
I'll have some too.
I say, could I just request a spot of milk in it?
The Romans, however, were not to be outsmarted. They sent across the river a group of crack troops, Batavians, or kind of like Dutch or German, in full armour. They swam across and snuck into the British camp, where they hamstrung the British horses, which meant that the British couldn't use their chariots anymore. A young commander called Vespasian also made his way across with his troops. The battle seemed to be in the balance when Gnaeus Hesidius Gelter joined the fray and sent the Britons packing. For his actions, he'd be given a triumph. Vespasian would eventually become emperor. But the thing about this battle, as described by Cassius Dio, is he doesn't say the Medway, he doesn't say Kent, he doesn't name any places. So where was this battle? Some people think it was here, near Rochester. Obviously there wasn't a bridge then. Wouldn't have been a problem otherwise. But there was, some people think, an Iron Age settlement here. But the river here is quite tidal and quite fast flowing and quite wide, so I'm not sure you're going to get across it. It looks fairly boggy down there, very muddy. I don't really fancy your chances if you're a fully clad legionnaire, so maybe they didn't clamber over this stuff. Get sucked down maybe. Who knows? So some people think the battle was fought here, in Cobham, on Battle Street, and that's a case of nominative determinism gone mad. They think this because not obviously has somebody named the street after the battle, but also there used to be a field of standing stones just over there, and people thought that they'd found like warriors' bones around them. But then a farmer in the 18th century decided he'd had enough of trying to plough around the stones, so he just knocked them down and threw them somewhere. So now there are just some houses. But still, this seems like a bit of a weird space for the battle because it's quite far from the river. Some people think the battle was fought here at Kitscoty near Aylesford. Well, that's what people think a lot about Kitscoty. They're always attributing battles to be here. See Hengist and Horsa. Seems a bit unlikely really, because we're quite far away from the river, even if it is really picturesque. Many people over the years have weighed in on their opinions about where this battle was fought. Some people, like the 4th Lord Raglan, he says, wasn't even in Kent at all. It was at the River Arun, and that the people, the Romans, were marching on Silchester or Chichester. But I don't believe in any of those ideas because those places are not in Kent, so I don't care. The reason I can confidently poo-poo the idea that the Romans invaded somewhere out west is because in 1957 somebody found a load of coins here in Bredgar. What's weird about most coin hoards is you generally find they're from all sorts of different people and places and time periods. These aren't though, they're all from 41 AD, just before the invasion. The question remains, why was it still found here? Well, it can't have been a legionary's pay because it was too much. It might have been a bribe for a local official to convince some of the Britons to fight on the Roman side, or maybe it was a centurion's pay and that they buried it here in the hopes that one day they'd come back and collect it after the battle, but then they never came back after the battle because they died. Or maybe this whole thing like Fargo and they can never find the money. Who knows? Even the duck pond is Roman. Who knew Bredgar was so Roman? So maybe we'll never really know for sure where the Battle of Medway was fought. Oh no, wait a minute. What's this ancient looking stone? Here in Burham, near the River Medway. And it says Medway. Ah, truly an ancient plaque, isn't it? Had to go on the Imperial War Museum website to check it all out, see what it says. Yeah, there it is, nice stone. There we go, Burham, okay. Roman occupation, 55 BC earlier. We know better, people, don't we? Hang on, wait a minute. Wait. Unveiled? 1998? Is an ancient tool. Oh my god. Information shown, undefined. You're telling me? Don't worry, there's also this information board, which I'm sure will explain everything. Here we go. Wait a second. Where? It's completely illegible. Great work. Great work. You can imagine them maybe fording this river. It's not too wide, not too muddy, it's just right. And apparently they found Roman remains on both sides, so maybe this is the space. Wherever the battle was, the Romans pushed the Britons back to the Thames, and then Emperor Claudius himself turned up at Richborough on an elephant. And then they made their way to Colchester, where they attacked and defeated the Britons again. Over many years they would push the Britons all the way back to the fringes of Scotland, and England would be dominated by the Romans for 400 years. If you have any other people, places or time periods you'd like covered, then pop them in the comments below. If you want to know more about this topic, then click on the link below and you'll find a website which has a whole slew of reading resources. Thank you very much for watching Kentish Tales and Tales of Kent.